Hello, welcome to my channel. So we're looking into the disappearance of John Allen Akkerman, Spokane, Washington, 1987, 27 years old, born in 1960, 6 foot tall, 160 pounds, wearing a white long sleeve shirt with red and blue checkered pattern on the cuffs and collar, new blue jeans, blue low cut sneakers with Velcro fastenings. A gold colored necklace with a brass ring and a silver digital wristwatch with a silver band. Taxi cab owned by the Cab County. Taxi cab owned by the Checker Cab Company accounted for. Okay, he had brown hair, hazel eyes, a birthmark. Okay, I don't want to read that. And a vertical 6-inch scar above his navel, 2 tattoos, a heart on his inside of his forearm with initials AJ inside of it, and a lightning bolt on the right side, and a heart on his left shoulder with a sword through it and a name that was blackened out. He wears eyeglasses in brown plastic frames, and he had long sideburns and a mustache at the time that he went missing. He was last seen in Spokane, Washington, August 7th, 1987. He worked as a cab driver for a Checker Cab Company. He picked up a male customer at 5th and Wall, near Deaconess Medical Center, at 12:20 a.m. Ackerman told his dispatcher he was taking the man to Spokane Valley. He's never been heard from again. Maybe the guy didn't have enough money to pay for the cab. I don't know. 2 hours later, another cab driver found his cab at the intersection of 5th and Madison. 2 hours later, just 4 blocks from where he'd picked up his last fare. So he picked up the last fare and made it 4 blocks and disappeared. The vehicle was parked at an unusual angle. It was unlocked. They probably robbed him. The windows were rolled down, and the knife he carried for protection was next to the driver's seat. Both of his wallets were missing. One had his personal cash and ID, and the other one was for carrying cab fare money. So they might have killed him for the money. Ackerman was a good employee, and neither his employer nor his wife believe he left on his own accord. The fare he picked up the night of his disappearance was never identified, and his case remains unsolved. Okay, so he goes missing 1987, and then you can see it on the Doe Network, and it also says a lot of the same things. A lot of times they give really good details about what they're wearing and things like that. Let's see. The cab was unlocked, the window rolled down, the knife. There was no sign of a struggle. There was no way to trace who the fare was. The cab meter was off, but indicated the cab may have traveled a number of miles with the last fare. What? Ackerman had been driving his cab for a month. He was married and was celebrating his 4th wedding anniversary the day of his disappearance. He was described as a good employee and as being in a good mood when he left for work. So, okay. And then you can find it on Facebook. You can go to Reddit and find information. This one talks about they had a 2-year-old son. John and Alita were longtime residents of the Spokane area. The couple had been married for 4 years, with August 7th being their 4th wedding anniversary. In the early morning hours, he was halfway through his shift and was downtown Spokane when the call dispatched to inform him he had picked up a customer at 5th and Wall. This came in at 12:20 a.m. John told the dispatcher that the pair wanted to ride to the Spokane Valley, which is due east from the downtown Spokane. At 2 a.m., only 4 blocks west from his last known location, another cab driver spotted him. It's parked strangely at the intersection. He found that the car was unlocked with all the windows rolled down, and he called for help. Police discovered that the car owned by the Checker Cab Company had been driven by John Ackerman. The car was parked at an awkward angle. The knife he carried was on the passenger seat. His coffee mug was also left behind. There was no sign of a struggle. Both of his wallets were gone. The keys of the cab were nowhere to be found, and while the meter was not reading, it read 28:55, indicating the car was probably driven at least several miles from 12:20 a.m. to 2 a.m. when it was found abandoned. His boss reported that Ackerman was a darn good employee who was reliable and was in a good mood that day, a sentiment echoed by his wife. John had never disappeared before, and he had known he had no personal problems such as mental illness or anything like that. So, in one interview, his wife said that John had once fainted or blackened out about a month prior and sometimes got stressed out. He was generally healthy and a typical 27-year-old. She also reported to the paper that she felt her husband was alive but in danger, and she didn't believe that John would walk away from his life, especially in the middle of a shift in the middle of the night and without a vehicle or any of its possessions. Allen Akkerman organized a search for her husband the next day in a group of about 20 local helps, but nothing was found. All the tips just led to dead ends. So, yep. And then it talks about web sleuths and a skeleton and John Doe's. And let's see. And his description and sources and things like that. And then there's some comments if you want to read that. Oh, and then you can, of course, view the entire discussion. It's on a major interstate and trucking route, only about 90 miles from Canada. There's a river through downtown and multiple nearby lakes. Outside the city, it gets rural very quickly with dense forests. It's kind of the perfect storm of everything that leads to people going missing and bodies not being found. So, and then I went through to see if I could find any John Doe's that could be him. And this one is, I think this one looks a lot like him, the way they did it. This one was discovered September 20th, 1987. And they died January to September 1987, charred skeleton. But it's a little bit too short because he was 6 foot and this one only goes up to maybe 5'9". 27 to 37 years old, male, 130 to 155 pounds. Small feet, probably wearing a size 8 shoe. And I don't think somebody that was 6 foot tall would wear a size 8 shoe. But I did think it looked it looked so similar to him though. So I left it in there. And the chimney heat had destroyed the DNA, so charred remnants of denim pants and a denim jacket, a lightweight shirt, and rubber-soled shoes. The coat was found under the body, apparently to shield him from the heat. The shirt was draped or wrapped around one ankle, possibly to bind an injury. So that one is it's in Washington. I don't know why. It's a Georgia Pacific West worker found the body atop of parallel pipes near the bottom inside chimney number 9. The pipes, which carried water heated to exhaust, were 200. The air was 95 degrees, unless the boiler was running when the temperatures. Officials estimated the victim had been in the chimney for a few days to a few weeks. Records show the boiler operated for 34 hours during September 7th and September 18th. 2 days before the body was found, plus more hours the previous month. The chimney was difficult to reach. The person had to climb a number of stairs inside the plant and then make his way to the roof of the building. Although a metal door was present at the base of the stack, it took police 2 hours to pry it open, making it an unfeasible way for a descendant to have gotten in. A medical examiner yielded the presence of broken bones, indicated the body probably fell into the stack. The unusual location of the body fueled speculation that the discovery was that of a murder or suicide victim. Nothing was located to indicate he was a worker, and no workers were reported missing. So, I just, because he looked, to me, the way the hair is and the way the face is shaped right here, it looks a lot like him. And since he was burned and charred, they wouldn't know about the other facial hair. And so then there's this one, and this one's found in Churchill, Nevada. And it was found in 1993, and it has an unknown date of death, so it could have been him. The age is right, the height is right, and because there's there's a possible blunt force trauma to the back of his head, which resulted in medical treatment several years prior to his death. So that's not how he died then. I don't know. So they found him. He was scattered over 100 feet area west side of U.S. Highway 50 near a reservoir. So I thought, well, Nevada, it's not that far away. And then there's this one in Michigan, who is the right height and the right age and died about the right time. So, and I don't know about the hair. You know, you kill somebody, or you're gonna, and he could have, I don't know if he shaved before or, you know, but that one also looks like it could be him. So, and you can read more on that. But I just tried to get everyone that I found that I thought could be him and throw them in there and try not to leave that when he, this one died 2 years prior, so I don't think that could be him. Because he died in 1987, if he died then, right? But the facial shape and things, and unless I don't think somebody's going to keep him and hold on to him for years. But if they had, then that could be him. But yeah. And then there's this one, and this one died in 1987, but it says 2 weeks before September 26th. So again, he would have had to have been alive for a little while. And this one's a little bit too short. And it says the hair is black, straight, and 7 inches in length, which is about right. But again, too short. But I don't know. So, short-sleeved red, black plaid shirt. Nexit jeans, size 27 long. That's about right. White Hanes underwear, black leather belt. Wasn't he wearing a plaid shirt? And new jeans, right? Black boots, size 6D. 6 is awful small. I don't think so. I don't know, is that right? That's, even I wear it bigger than a size 6. I wonder if it's supposed to be a 9 or something. Somebody found him on the highway 123 in Mount Rainier, Washington. See? But he'd have to be, I don't even know if somebody in 5'5" could wear a size 6. That's awful little foot. I don't know about that. And then this one, I took it out and then put it back in. I took it out and put it back in. 5 days prior, I don't, you know, I don't think it really looks like him, but it's the right height and close to the right weight, and it's in Texas, so I don't know. So there's that information. Those are all the ones that I could find that were John Doe's, that were listed, that could possibly have been him. So his remains may not have been found, but you know, what do you think? Do you think it's one of them, or do you think it's somebody else? Because I went through by the height. I tried to find people that were 6 foot tall. First I went by Washington. You can tell because this one's too short. And so I found this one, and I decided to leave it in there because I, you know, and this one's in Nevada. So, and then after I went by Washington, then I went and looked for the height. And so those were the ones that were showing with the height. And this one's one of the ones in Washington that wasn't the right height before I went to look for the height. And then this one, yeah. So that's all the ones I could find. So, you know, maybe he wasn't found. Maybe his, I don't know. But there's a picture of him. And then there's that picture. I'm going to do that again. This picture of him. Here's this picture of him. You see what he looks like? And then that photo. Doesn't, right here, look at this one. And then we'll go back. See, doesn't that look a lot like him too? The nose, the shape of the face, and the hair. To me, that looks a lot like him. So, even though it's too short. So, I don't know. So, please feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions. And don't forget to stop and pray for his family and his loved one. Because how sad is that, you know? His wedding anniversary, he's got a small child, he's a hard worker. And somebody probably just killed him to steal his money or something, right? Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day. Bye-bye.